Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 10, A. Daf Yud on an olive, with the words Ploni Ba'al Ishti. Someone testifies, Ploni Ba'al Ishti, who the Acher B'sarfin L'hargo, Aval Lo L'harga. If someone testifies, so-and-so engaged in intercourse with my wife, he and another may combine to execute him, the accused man, with his testimony, but the woman's husband is not accepted as a witness to execute her. A person cannot testify concerning his wife or any other close relative. My Kamash Milan. The Gemara asks, what is this last scenario teaching us? De mefalginan b'dibura hanuhach. Adam Karav Eitzel Atzmo Amrinan Eitzel Ishto Amrinan Kamash Milan. Is it that we divide the statement of the witness in order to accept part of the testimony while rejecting the inadmissible part? This cannot be, as the principle in this case is identical to that case, in which the witness is not accepted to incriminate himself. The Gemara answers, the second case is necessary. Lest you say, with regard to his own self, since a person is his own relative, we say, that we divide the testimony. But with regard to his wife, one might think, we do not say so. And the entire testimony must either be accepted or rejected. Therefore, the second case teaches us that even with regard to one's wife, the statement is divided and the testimony concerning his wife is disregarded. And Rava also says, if witnesses testify, so-and-so engaged in intercourse with a betrothed young woman, see Deuteronomy 22:25, without specifying the young woman in question, and they were rendered conspiring witnesses, they are executed, and they are not liable to pay money, since they never specified the identity of the young woman. They were never in a position to cause anyone to lose part or all of her marriage contract. But if they specified, the young woman was a daughter of so-and-so, and so-and-so, and they were rendered conspiring witnesses, they're executed, and they also pay money. Since in this case the money is for the victim, meaning the father of the young woman who stood to lose part or all of her marriage contract, and their lives are for that victim, meaning the man and the woman accused of adultery, they are liable to receive both punishments. Rava, Ploni, Rava Hasho, Vihuzmu Nerogin. And Rava also says, if they testify that so-and-so engaged in bestiality with an ox, see Leviticus 18:23, which would theoretically result in the execution of both the person and the animal, without specifying which ox, and they were rendered conspiring witnesses, they are executed as their testimony would have put the accused to death. And yet, they are not liable to pay money for the ox, because their testimony did not pertain to any ox in particular. But if they specify, he engaged in bestiality with so-and-so's ox, and they were rendered conspiring witnesses, they're executed, and they also pay money to the owner of the ox they sought to have killed. Since the money is for this victim, the owner whose ox would have been killed by the court, and their lives are for that victim, the man accused of engaging in bestiality with an animal, they are liable to receive both punishments. Ha-tu-lamali, hainu-hach, mishum de-gabai-irave, de-bai-rava-plani, rava-shori, mahu, mi-amri adam karav etz-latzmoi, ve'en adam karav etz-lamoidoi. Oidilma amrinan, Adam karov etzel lemoinoi, Basar the boy Hadar Pashta, Adam Karvetzamoy, Atmoy, the Ain Adam Karvetzamoy. The Gemara asks, it seems that the case of the ox exemplifies the same principle as the case of the betrothed young woman. Why do I need this case? This is essentially identical to that. The Gemara answers the second case was necessary to clarify a point. Because Rava raised a dilemma about it, as Rava raised a dilemma, if someone testifies, so-and-so engaged in bestiality with my ox, what is the halacha? Do we say that a person is his own relative concerning testimony, but a person does not have the status of relative with regard to his property, and consequently the ox would also be executed because his testimony about his own animal is admissible? Or perhaps do we say that a person has the status of a relative with regard to his property, and therefore his testimony about his ox is inadmissible? The Gemara says, after he raised the dilemma, he then resolved it. A person is his own relative, but a person does not have the status of a relative with regard to his property, so the ox is executed. Next. Makos b'shloisho menohani miri amar Rav Huna amar kra shaftum ushfatum shnayim ve'im bezdin shakur mosifin leim oid echad chaykan shloisho. The Mishnah teaches cases concerning one accused of violating a prohibition that would render him liable to receive lashes must be rendered by 3 judges. The Gemara asks, from where is this matter derived? Rav Huna says, the verse states, if there will be a controversy between men, and they come to judgment, and the judges judge them, and they shall justify the just, and they shall condemn the wicked, then it shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, then the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face. Deuteronomy 25, 1 through 2. When it states, and the judges judge them, in the plural, this indicates a minimum of 2 judges, and since a court may not be composed of an even number of judges, the court adds to them 1 more, and there are a total of 3 judges here. Excuse me for 1 minute, please. Got a little dry. Get some water. Okay. Where were we? Okay, Elamiata at Siku Shnaim. Elamiata at Siku Shnaim Verishu Shnaim Arekan Shivo Ahumi Boyle de Kede Ula de Omar Ula Remez Le'edim Zoimimin Min HaTorah Minayin. The Gemara asks if that is so, that the plural verbs in the verse each indicate 2 judges. The term "and they shall justify" indicates another 2, and the term "and they shall condemn" indicates another 2, so that there are a total of 7 here. The Gemara answers of Huna requires that pair of terms in accordance with the opinion of Ula. As Ula says, from where in the Torah is there an allusion to the halacha of conspiring witnesses? Remez Edom Zomamin V'oksiv kasher zomam. Ela remez le'edim sheloikin minay dichsiv v'hatzdikos atzadik v'yershiu es harosho. The Gemara interrupts with a question, an allusion to the halacha of conspiring witnesses, but is written explicitly. Then you shall do to him as he had planned to do to his brother. Deuteronomy 19:19. Why do you need an allusion? Right? Rather, Ula meant, from where in the Torah is there an allusion to the halacha that conspiring witnesses are flogged? Ula answers, as it is written, and they shall justify the just, and they shall condemn the wicked. Then shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, then the judge shall cause him to lie down and beat him before his face. Mishum, that's the because the tzaddik which is a rosha, in ben akois rosha, ela edim shir shiu as a tzaddik, ve'aso edish achin in tzaddik as a tzaddik d'mikoro. V'shavinu lahanach hashoyim v'haya im ben hakois harasha. The Gemara explains the derivation due to the fact that the term that the terms in the verse, they shall justify the just and they shall condemn the wicked, indicate a financial dispute in which one party is vindicated and the other is required to pay? Does it follow that, as the verse continues, then it shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, why would the verdict being rendered in the other party's favor mean that the losing party is flogged? Rather, the verse must be discussing the witnesses and not the litigants. If conspiring witnesses condemned the just one, and other witnesses came and justified the one who was really the just one from the beginning, and rendered these conspiring witnesses wicked, then, as the verse continues, then it shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face. This indicates that the witnesses are subject to lashes. The Gemara asks, why does this halakha require specific derivation? But since there is a principle that one is subject to lashes for violating any prohibition, why not derive the punishment from the prohibition? You shall not testify as a false witness against your neighbor, Exodus 20:13. The Gemara answers that verse is insufficient because it is a prohibition that does not involve an action, but only speech. And with regard to any prohibition that does not involve an action, one is not flogged for it. Mishum Rabbi Yishmael Amu B'esem my time under Rabbi Yishmael Amar Rabaya Ask Rasha Mechavi Misos Ksiv HaChava Haya Im Yenekois Alasha Ksiv Hasam Asher Hu Rasha Lavus Mal Ahalam B'esem Afkam B'esem The Mishnah teaches, it was stated in the name of Rabbi Yishmael, cases concerning lashes must be adjudicated by 23 judges. The Gemara asks, what is the reasoning for Rabbi Yishmael? Abaye said, this is derived by means of a verbal analogy between one instance of the term wicked and another instance of the term wicked from the halakha of those liable to receive death penalties. It is written here with regard to lashes, then it shall be if the wicked man deserves to be beaten. And it is written there with regard to the murder that that is a wicked man guilty of death. Numbers 35:31. Just as there, with regard to the trial of the murder, the case is tried by 23 judges, so to here, the case of lashes must be tried by 23 judges. Okay? Rava Amar Malkus Makam Misa Medis Amar Ravacha Rabba Leravashi Yachi Umnera Lamali Lemachaya Imais Namus. Rava says a verbal analogy is unnecessary. Conceptually, lashes stand in place of execution. As corporal punishment is a kind of replacement for capital punishment, it must be judged in the manner of capital punishments by a court of 23. Rav Acha, the son of Rava, said to Rav Ashi, if so, that lashes stand in place of execution, why do I need an assessment? Before administering lashes, the court consults with the physician to assess how many lashes the transgressor can withstand and adjusts the number of lashes so that the transgressor's life will not be threatened. But if Rava is correct, why is this necessary? Let the court strike him, and if the transgressor dies, let him die. Amar lei, Amar kra, v'nilke achicha beinecha, v'nikle achicha beinecha. Kim achis akabad decham v'chais, ela hadatanya amduhu l'kabel esrim, ein makan oisei, ela makus harayos l'ishtalesh. Kamehen, tam nesre. Rav Ashi said to Rav Acha, the son of Rava, the verse states, then your brother will be dishonored before your eyes. Deuteronomy 25:3. This teaches that when you strike upon the back of a live person. After he is dead, he is not called your brother. Rav Acha, the son of Rava, continued to ask Rav Ashi, but with regard to that which is taught in the Braita, to Sefta Makot 4:6, if they assessed him to be strong enough to absorb 20 lashes, they flog him only with a number of lashes that can divide into threes. So, and lashes are administered in sets of 3s. 2 behind and 1 in front. And how many are they? 18.